Hey everybody, it's Brian Leonard, Executive Director at Hasbro Studios.
Robert Fuchs, also from Hasbro Studios.
Hi, this is Woody, Director of My Little Pony.
Jason Deason, Supervising Director of My Little Pony.
Nicole Oliver, Princess Celestia, and Shirley.
Kathy Westlick, the voice of Spike and the Mayor.
Andrea Lipman, Pinkie Pie, and Fluttershy.
Tabitha St. Germain, Rarity, and Sundry.
Daniel Ingram, songwriter.
Rid Sorensen, art director.
And there's plenty of art to direct in this one with all those dresses.
Yep.
You made some lovely fashion choices, men.
How much of that was your influence, or?
You know what? Robin Mitchell, our character designer, really shined in this one because we know him for his, comic book style.
Right,
and
yeah.
We got a lot of stuff on DeviantArt that's so on My Little Pony.
Very cartoony.
But so I thought, well, man, we're gonna give him a bunch of dresses here. I wonder how that's gonna go. And he just ran with it and came up with some really cool kind of high fashion stuff. Lauren had a lot of input, obviously, as well. But yeah, he really shined in this episode.
As he should have.
Literally shined.
He shined.
Sean.
We polished him up.
Sorry, but it's Sean.
Sean.
No, he shined.
Shined.
It's Ponyville.
Lauren's influence on the dresses was really cool, like when they were transitioning into the dresses and during those scenes later.
Oh, yeah, that's it. That's right at the end.
Mm-hmm.
Sticking pins and things. Reminds me of nothing.
Rarity's got her glasses on. I think it's the first time we see her wearing those glasses.
Tabitha has glasses just like
Does
that.
she? Yeah.
Pretty close.
For reals. It's true.
I think I wanted to go for a Edith Prickly look for those. A lot of Americans won't get that reference, but
They really suit her somehow. She only wears them when she's sewing things.
right.
She's concentrating.
Tabitha, what's the inspiration for Rarity's voice?
When I auditioned for it, I think they had on the sheet that they wanted something that sounded like Audrey Hepburn. So I'm not really good at doing imitations, but I just had that kind of. She has a really clear diction and really pretty sound to her voice, and it's sort of indefinable. I mean, Audrey Hepburn was Dutch and English. So yeah, that's kind of where that came from. Then there was a little bit of Connecticut or something crept in. I don't know. I guess it was just to keep it North American as much as pos, and yeah, kind of like that.
And a bit upper crusty as well.
She is a bit upper crusty.
All I hear is Tabitha in there. Like you can hear it right there with all the little subtleties.
This is my real voice.
Now you've done it.
Oh, sorry, inside voice.
That's one thing we really liked about the auditions for all our ponies is all the subtlety that they bring to the voices. It's not just how it sounds, but what they bring to it, how they act.
Personality.
Mm-hmm.
This episode is kind of the second in the string of the arc of this first season. The gala. Episode 3 was the setup. This is the middle. And then we have the finale.
Yeah, it's really amazing when you sort of piece all the episodes together and you see, sort of again that clarity of vision of, building to the Grand Galloping Gala. But each of these episodes really stands on its own.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the overarching thread is really important for us.
Thread. No pun intended.
And Rarity is demonstrating her special unicorn magic skills. Scissors.
With no opposable thumbs.
No. Well, that is a great kind of.
We
here
don't
comes
see the
song.
hooks holding any scissors either.
Daniel.
Hit it, Daniel!
Yeah, this was a challenging song because, I got the reference for the Stephen Sondheim putting it together, which I hadn't heard actually, and then I listened to it and I noticed that the lyrics in the script were written to that rhythm. So there's a lot of words trying to fit, and listening to her just nail these little lines and fit them all in and make it clear. Kazumi did a really great job. But I have to admit, I'm really was kind of got tired of this song because what happened was I recorded the demo originally with Shannon Chen-Kent, who is the singing voice of Pinkie Pie, and then and she's really used to singing quickly. So for her, we kept pushing the tempo faster and faster until she kind of hit her breaking point there, and then we recorded it with the original voice of Rarity, which was Rebecca Shortkick, and
The singing voice.
the singing voice for Rarity, yeah, and then at that point, about this point in the series, we realized that we were recording with Tara Strong down in L.A., and it was really hard for me to get down there and work with her, and we knew it wouldn't really work to have this separation from Vancouver and L.A. So last minute, Lauren made the call, like, well, we should find a voice replacement for the songs for her so that Daniel can work with her and more conveniently. And so we decided that Rebecca Shortkick was the best Rarity, Twilight Sparkle double, but we already had her singing Rarity, so we suddenly needed a Rarity double now, and that's when we were like, oh, well, who do we have? And we went back and we just got lucky. Kazumi had auditioned for Rarity and had sung a bit, and we were just so impressed with her voice, and she's a professional singer, and so she ended up being the third time we recorded this song, and it's a very hard song to record, so yeah.
Very complicated
I didn't
singing.
know you didn't write the lyrics. The lyrics come to you and then you have to compose after?
That's right. In this season, it evolves all the time. I get more and more input now, but first in season 1, I had very little input on the lyrics.
He definitely makes them gel. Sometimes a script doesn't quite gel, and Daniel just really makes it all sing.
Well, yeah, I'll modify words here and there, but the writers in this series are really good at coming up with lyrics.
And is there ever a time when you do get the tune first and then?
Well, in this case, there was that reference of like, well, we based this and these words off of putting it together, and so I didn't want to clone the tune, of course, but I wanted to sort of make it fit in as an homage to that tune. So trying to create a creative variation, and then as the song goes on, it just really goes into a more modern place at that point.
And I remember you had like kind of a tempo that was a little like stitching, like up and down, up and down. We want to match the animation of the sewing machine to the beat, and that was important to me. I wanted to get that feeling of the stitching of the music too.
I wonder, because you guys work at like 24 frames a second or something, right? Is that how the animation is?
Yeah.
Because I always wonder how that breaks down to musical beats. 'Cause I've seen,
So you brought a sewing machine in your home.
you know, like a subdivision of 12, I know is 120 beats per minute, and I wonder, well, what if I've got this like weird tempo? How are you going to keep a rhythm going in Flash at 24 frames? Like, I don't know if that gets complicated or not.
You sure think different. My head hurts.
We have to with picture to sound, we often have to anticipate the sound a little bit. So sometimes we have to be like a couple of frames sometimes up to 3 or 4 frames before the sound, so that it matches. It's amazing. It's amazing how just being right on the beat it feels late.
It feels late.
It feels late. So.
And then
we
you have
figured
to
it out.
and then you create these loops that I guess have to be the right number of frames to match the beats of the music. I don't know.
Yeah.
Right.
Which is why I try to mess with you, but you just keep doing it.
We use an algorithm. This episode was storyboarded by Mike West and Sharan Johnson. Mike did, I think, the first half, and Sharan did the second half of the story. There's some great acting
Yeah,
here.
Sharan's got a really nice approach to dealing with the acting from these girls.
Yeah.
Very natural.
I really love her drawings. Are really funny, actually. When we look at her storyboards, she really pushes their expressions. And so Mike did the first song, and Sharan did the second song. There's another song coming up.
And Sharan's from AKA Cartoons as well.
That's right. Yeah. I
Another
think,
one.
did Mike have some?
Yeah, Mike did a little bit there
Yeah.
too as well.
But yeah, it was a lot of choreography, and they each, worked together on their respective parts to help each song kind of feel, at least the storyboard was working together. There's a lot to show in that short amount of time, and
Yeah.
all these transitions and interesting visuals was a challenge for them, but they really pulled it off. I really like how this song turned out.
This is a funny song for all of us in the industry, right? Because it's really about how you're trying to keep your clients
Yeah,
happy. And
it's very much awkward. Yeah.
I'm like, they better not give me notes on this song. It's just too much irony.
Tell us what you really think, Daniel. How do you really feel?
They're listening.
Hasbro's always listening.
That's what that webcam is in my studio.
In your sewing machine.
But then you turn out to have been right all along, and the silly choices that other people gave you just simply didn't work, in spite their lovely intentions.
That's what I tell myself to feel better.
Yeah, I was gonna say that's how you sleep at night. All right.
That's right.
Oh, it's a collaborative effort. Everybody involved has input. You know, we get suggestions from the animators, from the layout people, all the way along, right to the end. You know, even in the mix, sometimes we shouldn't be calling revisions, but sometimes we do.
This sort of thing is a hard challenge where there's like the song going, and then there was this long bunch of dialogue.
Yeah, that's right.
and then and then the song gets cut in half, and
There's the famous phrase. That's
Yeah.
the first
So
time.
that-
20%
that's
the
cooler.
first time. 20%
Yeah,
cooler.
20%. That's
where it
the
came from.
only time she ever said
Oh
it.
wow.
And that was all it took.
And then 10 seconds flat was from the pilot.
Well, it is
Yeah,
good.
and 10 seconds flat was from the pilot.
Yeah.
We could reach 30%, it's
No,
possible.
yeah. Well, maybe in upcoming.
Wow, holy uvula.
Yeah. That's the beauty of Flash. We can actually zoom right inside somebody's soul.
A lot of previously on other shows we've worked on, we've been limited at storyboards with how small a field we can go with truck outs.
So that drawing there where's that come from? That sketch.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure that's a Lauren Faust original right there.
Wow.
Wow.
Yeah, we took a few shots at drawing a fashion kind of sketch, and we just weren't getting it, so she just kind of schooled us and sent us that, and we were like, oh, okay.
That's the way it works
Thank
a lot
you.
of times. We'll be bumping up against a wall a lot of times in some areas, and then Lauren.
Yeah, it was incredible as an artist to work with somebody of her caliber, and I mean, I'm not sucking up here, Lauren, but thank you.
Yeah.
Seriously, it just kicked my
Definitely.
butt and got me going. So
Cheers to that.
Yeah. She didn't compromise, which is awesome.
And that's something we can all relate to here. Like, all the artists on this show recognize that integrity, and we're inspired to put in extra effort on this show.
Mm-hmm.
It's hard to draw these. I mean, the pony design is so elegant and simple, and simple elements, but it works so well. And I know at the art contest for one of the recent conventions, we tried drawing ponies, and it's really hard.
I made an instructional page on how to draw ponies. I could give it to you if you want.
I need it.
Three
yeah.
heads high.
Yeah.
it's funny because I mean they're fairly easy to draw, but you got to get those proportions exactly right.
Yeah.
No, that's
it's
it.
about proportion.
Yeah, totally. But you break
Vectors.
Here comes Hoity
This
Toity.
is Trevor Duvall, isn't it?
I thought this was supposed to be my character there.
It's a great
He
Robin.
looks like
Robin Mitchell
someone,
design
doesn't
there.
he? Yeah. A little bit.
A little.
Little bit like an homage to someone. Yeah.
Could be, yeah. His cutie mark is a fan, which is just
A
big,
little
big
on
giveaway.
the nose. Yeah.
He's his own
Oh,
biggest
Hey,
fan.
DJ Pone 3.
DJ Pony.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
the one and only time you ever saw her in season 1.
But what color are her irises?
Oh, that's cool.
This
Yeah,
was
I like the
hysterical, the
sequence.
sequence.
This
yeah.
is Mike West did this part and storyboarded it. Turned out great.
And I love the sort of the quintessential, music for a fashion show in the
Yeah.
background.
Yeah.
Will
It's so
Anderson,
great, Will.
yeah.
We really try and limit the amount of crowd shots we get.
Yeah. Well,
You don't
thankfully
say.
nobody's moving, which is yeah, and the big reveal of their crazy dresses.
Yeah, how hard was it to create dresses that were clearly awful, but something that
You
that
know
were-
what? I actually like these dresses a lot.
I know, especially
So-
especially rare.
It's haute couture.
Yeah.
Yeah,
The cupcake
Rainbow
on the
Dashes is
head.
pretty cool, actually.
Yeah.
One challenge we have with dealing with Flash is to limit the amount of angles we have on new designs for episodes. So
I don't see any limitations.
Yeah, we
They're
do
amazing.
little clever tricks in the storyboard to plan ahead and figure out how many angles we need to design for.
This
Wow,
this
there's a
sequence
lot in
was
there.
tricky too, standing on a rotating stage.
Yeah.
How do you make that
When
work?
I read that in the script, oh man, I pained.
I remember you were painting about that little animation, but we worked it out. I think it worked well. A lot of little clever cheats in there.
Yeah.
His voice is great.
Thurston Howell II. I like Rarity's hair is kind of wavy there. She's been working hard. Did you, Rid, have something to do with that? I'm sure.
I'm sure it was on the list, and we just.
Just do it.
No, yeah, no. We see, it was like Rarity tired or something, so
Main
we
droop.
mess up her hair a bit.
We had a funny question earlier, Rid. How many ponies have you designed? How many
There's
different
so
ponies are in
many.
our universe here?
You know what? A lot. No, there's.
Do you have a count, a rough
Essentially,
count?
there's a female stock and a male stock, and some variations on both of those.
Here's another.
But it's all about different hairstyles and
Yeah.
That's right.
Color combos.
personalities.
This hairstyle on Rarity is again another messy-haired Rarity.
I don't remember that one. I think you guys messed her up a bit more.
Oh yeah.
This is a tour de force performance right here.
It's very dramatic. This is Tabitha being dramatic as possible.
What do you mean?
And we don't get a chance to see it, often, so it's so great to see it animated after the fact.
You guys really inspire a lot of good acting
Yeah.
in here.
When you guys push your voices like that and do those weird little things, it really it helps. It adds to the character.
Those are
And
the candy scenes.
Is it a
animators
gift or a
love it.
curse, we ask ourselves?
Here to provide those weird little things.
No, but the animators love that kind of thing because
yeah.
it inspires them to put in more nuance and they can just roll with that. So we love it.
That is such a good question. What
Yeah.
do you pack when you go? Because I'm planning for it. So.
Later today.
Oh, my pink slippers.
Only in the front hoofs, not in the back hoofs.
No, you have to be able to dig your heels in.
That's right.
Stamp your foot, don't you mean?
Precisely.
Stamp your hoof.
You have to put your hoof down.
Rarity's beautiful dress, made by Fluttershy.
Is there a name for the animation style where you're outlining every one of the characters? You can see, like, for example, Rainbow Dashes is blue and Rarity's is sort of a purple. It's kind of like a line drawing.
It's called self-trace.
Self-trace.
Yeah, self-trace lines. Yeah, speaking to that, I mean, one reason why this show I think is so successful is that we limited the amount of pony shapes, as Rid mentioned before. That way, when we make a new pony, it's mostly what is the hair like, and is it a Pegasus or a unicorn? And the layout artists and the animators all love that because when it comes to reusing animation or reusing posing, it's a lot easier to just simply change the color of the pony, change the outline to red and the fill line to pink, and then suddenly it's Pinkie Pie,
And the ponies and the moving animals and characters have outlines on them, but if you look at the background, there's no outlines on the background.
That's right, yeah.
They're just all color, and that really helps the characters stand out against the backgrounds, which is a challenge sometimes. But this sequence turned out so good. I know.
Oh yeah.
I remember Lauren personally had a lot to do with this because she wasn't totally happy with what the board artist came up with. That was a tough sequence because it wasn't, totally, we weren't totally sure how to outdo ourselves and present these dresses, but she had something in mind.
This episode had taxed their efforts with all the songs
look at that.
previously.
This music is perfect.
Yeah, this was Will Anderson did this part.
There's an unsung hero, Will Anderson. That's what he looks like.
He looks like hoity-toity.
But this was a lot of a lot of effort
board
went into
pulls.
this part. Yeah, board pulls.
Yeah, I remember that.
Figuring
What's
this
a board?
out.
What's a board pull?
So when you take a storyboard and you pull it. It's
And you bang it over your head and cry? No.
oftentimes after we've handed all the designs for a show, there'll be additional designs at the storyboard stage, so we call those board pulls.
Mike Vatcher had a lot to do with some of this animation too, and the layouts, because he had to kind of figure that out on his own. And like these growing vines. He had to figure that out in Flash.
Can't say enough good about the layout supervisors and animation directors on our show.
I just was like, do this, and how? That's your job. So, but he pulled it off really well. I was amazed.
Well, they pull from great boards too.
Yeah.
You know, just outstanding work every time.
And a lot of times there has to be like a compromise between what the board is saying and what Flash can do.
Yeah, and
So-
what designs we have,
And yeah.
and angles we have.
So there's lots of little tricks to reusing or exploiting Flash glitches again, to come up with something that, says something that equals the board or takes it further.
Spent a lot of time in those dresses, especially in.
Yeah, it was really important
I
to get
noticed that
their.
in the hallways.
It was
on the
really
way to the
important to
studio.
get their personalities in each dress.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
That was a big thing.
And design them in a way that we can still animate them in an easy way and not hinder the animator too much.
Building is a very important step in the artist process.
Those guys work hard.
That's the stage after design and before it goes to the layout guys.
It's
who
like
pose it.
modeling.
Yeah.
It's funny because it's sounding that from your perspective that you're aiming for simplicity and yet variety and expertise and excellence, but from the viewer standpoint, there's just so much detail, so many shades, and so much color combination. It just looks so complex.
Yeah, it's complex simplicity. I just made that up.
Is that an oxymoron?
That's not real.
Animation term.
Yeah.